Washington, Utah.
The hockey gods giveth, and the hockey gods taketh away. Are the Utah Mammoths' winning ways gone sour? Sure looked that way in the Carolina game. Welcome to our shitty podcast, John. Thank you for watching Slapshot Utah. How you doing?
Good, dude. It was a pretty fun week. The only thing that really sucked this week, and I'd be remiss if we didn't bring it up, is the passing of the late, the great, the legendary original jazz bear, John Absey. And we want to send our condolences as a Utah fanatic sports podcast to his family, his fans, his friends, everyone. He was an absolute legend and a mountain of a man. And I think if we can learn anything from John, is that he did so much charity work and so much for the community. And John, here in Slapshot, Utah, we're going to try our best to keep your legacy going. Rest in peace, my good dog. That's why we're all jazzed up today, baby. Let's go. Yep, Ray, we keep it jazzy over here.
We
But
keep
yeah,
it jazzy.
it was a
keep it
crazy
jazzy
week of
from-
hockey, dude. It was a crazy week of hockey because Tampa Bay was a crazy game. It was like so annoying. It was probably second most annoying game of this week.
It was just like being suffocated. I mean, that Bolts game was just like having a bag over your head. We could not breathe. They're such a good team, and they're very hot when we came to play them at the same time. So that was a strong challenge, and we lost. But I mean, we played good hockey. It felt like.
Yeah, we did. But thanks for people calling the Slapshot hotline, hot take hotline. We got a bunch of voicemails, so I'm gonna play some voicemails regarding the Tampa Bay game, and then you and me will go from there. So thank you everybody that called in. We'll do the first one. It's from our buddy Kurt. So let's listen to what Kurt has to say.
What's up, guys? That was a horrible ending to a game, giving up 3 goals.
Oh nope, wrong game. That was. Here we go.
I was gonna say
guys.
that.
Here's my hot take from the game today. First of all, I hate the damn Lightning. They're a bunch of chippy punks, and I cannot stand the way they are, especially the end with Sergachev. 2 things: when you get a hot goalie like Vasilevsky, it's hard to score on him. Second thing is stay out of the box. We give up 2 power play goals, and that's how we lose this game. And if we stay out of the box and maybe get a couple more chances, maybe we tie the game and go into overtime. But stupid penalties, hopefully they clean it up and play better tomorrow. Love the show, guys.
Hey, Kurt, thanks for calling in. Yeah, dude, the goalie, I don't know how to say his Vasilevsky or whatever.
Vasilevsky.
We actually,
yeah.
I had a cool ass Tampa Bay fan actually in the DMs, like chirp. It was friendly banter, but he brought up that how do you say it?
Vasilevsky.
He's 72 for 72 on saves against Utah Hockey Club / Mammoth.
Yeah.
So like he's got our number, dude. And sometimes in every sport, someone's just got your number.
Vasilevsky's got everybody's number. I was talking to Big Dustin a few weeks back, and he was saying, like, who are the elite goaltenders in the NHL anymore? Like, who are they? Like, Nate, and I'm like, well, okay, Bob Rofsky. Yeah, Bob Rofsky, Vasilevsky, and Ottinger. Okay, I mean, that's just it. But Vasilevsky is definitely in the conversation. He's got everybody's number. Great game, I thought. I mean, against a tough team. But did we get a Tampa Bay call then, or that was it?
Yeah, no, we also got another one.
Okay, good.
Okay. We got 2 from each game right now. So
alrighty, okay.
The next call comes from our buddy Buck, an OG Coyotes fan. So let's hear what Buck has to say.
God, at Buck Panic here.
I wanted to share my condolences with you on a hard loss. You see, I was viewing the game, and I must be some sort of good luck attractant, some sort of powerful magnet of positive vibes, because almost all the games I've watched for the Mammoth, they came out up pretty well on top. That is not my latent schizophrenia talking. It is a track record. And I am nothing if not a pattern recognizer. John, I wanted to wrap with you for a second about the power play opportunities tonight. You see, when Utah gives up a power play opportunity to the Tampa Bay Lightning, notoriously great on the power play, it's bad. Okay? But when we get one back, why are we spending so much of our time chasing the puck down? It's true. Now, we had some good looks out there on that power play. The shot totals through the first two periods look pretty good for the most part. I would just like to know, like we couldn't spend a little bit more on those Etsy witches for a proper curse on these elite teams. Thank you for your time. Tusks up, Kluber Nation.
Hey, but Buck also left one follow-up after that. This is just a 30-second follow-up.
God, Buck again. Just wanted to do a quick addendum. See, I looked it up, and Tampa actually has the 17th ranked power play according to Google AI. I'm not going to look any deeper into that because I just really don't care enough. And if that's the case and we couldn't block those shots, I really don't know what to say. Vasilevsky was great, but Benelka was standing on his head too. You can't put this on him at all. Just got a game stolen from us, John. Just feels bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think story to the Olympic break is that we stink at power plays. And it's been every game.
Yeah. The Achilles heel of the 2025-26 Utah Mammoth season has been the power play. I mean, it's dead last now, isn't it, John?
Oh, by a pretty good margin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're still 32nd.
And the penalty kill is still good. I think it's like 16th now, but it's not what it was. It's kind of softening up. I think I saw a tweet from you yesterday or this morning, something to the effect of, we got back from a hard road trip. We're going into a long break. And even our last guest, Julian, was talking about, we got to lose some of these games, you know.
I got to bring up on Julian's podcast, we did do the predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
996 the How picked every game completely right.
Yeah.
I picked that we were going to win 4 in a row. You picked we'd beat Tampa Bay and then lose out. Julian picked just Florida. He
nailed it. Yeah, he nailed it. Yeah, so, I don't, let's not panic, but yeah, it was, you can see that how many games are we going to lose lose the wild card spot by, presuming we do. And how many games are you going to look back and think, well, we were at the Stars game at the Delta Center last night. There was a power play where I think one player, it might have been Schmaltz, just skated around in circles looking for anything and then got dispossessed of the puck. And it was just a long sequence of nothingness. No shot,
right.
No opportunities. It just looks bad, and I don't see it getting any better.
But I mean, just like any young team, and I'll quote from my favorite movie of all time, Dumb and Dumber. Just like that, you come back and completely redeem yourself, and we beat the Stanley Cup winners the next night on a back-to-back without Gunther, too.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing. That's what's so frustrating about a young team like this, because you're watching one night and you're like, geez Louise, can we do anything? And then they beat the standing Stanley Cup winners. It's just crazy.
Well, and it's so interesting, too, that our heroes have been the unlikely suspects, like we've mentioned before, that McBain, Yamamoto, Carcone line is like the most energetic line we have, kicking ass, taking names.
Yeah.
Like they've been kind of keeping us in games in some ways. Yamamoto has had 2 back-to-back, 2 goal games. that line is going great. And so, I mean, you couldn't ask for any better in Gunther's absence and Cooley's absence. But yeah, we held in there great against the champs. And of course, the game that has us all.
I didn't even know that was possible. When you see 2 minutes and you're up a goal, I'm like, fucking chalk it up. We're going home.
2 goals.
Yeah, we were up by 2.
And I'm like, let's go to bed, honey. You know?
Yeah.
And then they scored. Oh, it's terrible. Absolute meltdown. Inexcusable, obviously. It was almost surreal, you know.
It reminded me of, was it the Ducks last year when we were up 4-1 and they came back and beat us? Or
that was the San Jose Sharks.
Oh yeah, Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It reminded me of that, dude.
Yeah.
Because I turned that game off, and then I was like an hour later, I was like, oh, let's see the final score. Did we win by 8? No, we lost.
That Carolina game, that might have been. Is that maybe the most shocking loss in the history of the Mammoth? Like that's the
in our short history, it's definitely the craziest and dumbest loss.
I felt sick after that San Jose loss last season, but this one, it hit like. Did that really
what
just
the
happen?
fuck just happened? Oh wait, 11 minutes. Let's go. We made it.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck was that? I was, because it was 1 minute and 59 seconds when we were up 3-1.
You know what got us though? You know, there's power plays that we suck at, and the penalty kill is, not what it was, although it's all right. But you know what got us? Special teams playing 1 cent, because all 3 of those 2 of those goals were 6-on-5, right? With their goalie pulled, and their extra. I don't know if you saw the one goal. I mean, their winger just walked, just skated right up to the post. I mean, he was wide open, like so. I don't know how you get that fixed, but it's all those special situations. We can't score 6-on-5. We can't score. We struggle 5-on-3.
Literally, dude. But we got a couple meltdowns that we want to listen to. Let's listen to the first one. We got a call. So, we actually had a Bucks or a Canes fan call in. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Oh, yeah. What happened? What happened? Oh, you're going to go soak? Oh, yeah.
Whoa, what happened?
Dude, I feel the same way, dude. That's why, like, when I got that, I was even mad. I was like, yeah. I literally was like, what happened? Literally.
What happened? Hey, what happened? Yeah, it was a shocker. It was shocking.
Yeah, it was funny. All right, let's listen to some actual fans now, all right? We gave you guys that. So, okay, so let's listen to what Brandon had to say.
Fuck! That's how I feel about this night. But Carolina culture, what the fuck is that? Like yuppies, lobster legs, butter, probably fucking some napkin draped around your neck you let your wifey tie to fucking have some crab and not get the butter on your fucking jersey. Get the fuck out of here. Mammoth Nation, Clubbers for life. Fuck you, we. God damn it. But that's Carolina. Hey, Florida's your daddy. Fuck y'all. But that's all I got to say. Carolina culture can kiss my ass because Mammoth Nation and Clubber culture is going to take the fuck over. Peace out.
Yeah. I think we all felt the same, Brandon.
Yeah, I think we felt it. John, what did you think of the Hartford Whalers throwback jerseys for the Carolina? I keep wanting to say the Carolina Panthers over the Carolina.
Yeah,
Hurricanes.
I know. I mean,
what you think?
I was thinking about it, and I was like, we actually talked about it a little bit. We as Mammoth fans don't want Coyote throwbacks. And you're kind of just piggybacking off a whole other team and old tradition that I'm kind of like, just like, if you want throwbacks, just do like your original Carolina jerseys. you know?
Well, I mean, now granted, we couldn't. I mean, I don't mind seeing people walking around in Coyote sweaters at the
I like
DC.
it.
Yeah, that's great. But as far as on the ice, even if we wanted to, we couldn't anyways because Arizona, the rights are still suspended of what the Coyotes are going to be with the NHL. I think they own it now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and so we couldn't anyways. But here's the thing that kind of bugs me, and I think it bugs like Hartford, like New England hockey fans too, is it's kind of like Carolina, all those fans, they don't have any real attachment to those uniforms. Of course, everybody in the NHL loves them, and like so do the fans, but like Carolina kind of claiming them as theirs is, I don't know. Do you think it's kind of phony? I mean, I don't know. They don't do it all the time, but at the same time, I think
I
that
don't want to say
somebody's got to
phony.
wear them.
I don't want to say phony just because I don't know. It's not that huge of a deal, but I will say it is like it would be weird. Like if you don't know the connection, you're like, what fucking jerseys are those? But I don't know. I didn't have time. AKA, I just like didn't get to it. But I was gonna do a deep dive on the history of the Heartland Whalers and the connection to the Golden Eagles with Jack Evans. But I didn't get to that. Maybe we do that another time in an off-season thing or something.
Yeah, maybe we will.
But yeah, I think it was a great week of hockey. It
was a great week of hockey. Hey, look, we oh wait, sorry, I was going to wrap it up. We got another one. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Well, all I was going to say is like, all right. I mean, like Tampa Bay, they're in it for world champion. They're in it for the cup this year. Okay, Florida, maybe not so much, but they were last year. Carolina, you're going to see them like they're shooting for a cup. I think they're a good playoff team. They're projected to go deep. The Stars, they're a great team.
They're good.
So like, all right, a little bit of a rough stretch, but against great teams, and we haven't been completely out of it. So that's all I was. Yeah. You by all means play the other calls, but that's just kind of wanted to marry to that is like. We're not doing this time of like, oh, Fire Bear, we're going to freak out. Like, we're cool. We got this.
100%. I'm right with you. Yeah, we got 2 more calls. Let's dial in for them. Oh shit, hold on. My bad. Let's go here. Sorry guys, we're clearly professionals at work right now. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, this is our buddy Kurt talking about the we didn't do the Canes for Kurt, huh? Yeah, let's do it.
What's up, guys? That was a horrible ending to a game. Giving up 3 goals. Barrett Hayton being in the box for 4 minutes doesn't really help. Really starting to not like the guy. I mean, maybe he needs to be traded. Carolina can run their mouth all they want, but they're not that great of a team. And by the way, I hope a hurricane comes and destroys that arena. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Love the pettiness, Kurt. I love it. Yeah, I mean,
all right. What do you think? Well, what do we think about Barrett Hayton?
I don't know, dude. It's because sometimes you see that, like, why he's on the team. Most of the time you see why he's on the team. And it's really hard to pin down, especially on a 3-goal comeback, just on one guy.
Yeah.
You know, you got to work as a unit in those situations, especially in special teams when you're on a 5-on-6, like, type run. Like, dude, that's not just one guy.
You know, if you don't know, Barrett Hayton was 5th overall in the 2018 draft. I think we took Barrett Hayton and then Quinn Hughes went a couple picks after. Can you imagine? Like, we would all take that differently. But hey, one thing that Barrett Hayton does good, and it's something that we need, all right? And this is not me saying he's the future in the center position for the Utah Mammoth, but one thing that he does good, he does really well at getting and being a physical presence right in front of the crease, blocking visibility. Like big body creates confusion. And so sometimes it doesn't show up, and the penalties are sometimes careless, but we got problems with that besides just Barrett Hayton. He plays a physical game. There's a reason that he went 5th overall is because I think the organization believes that he's going to still take another step forward. I think early, you remember the blood stamp episodes of what we did. I think something I said is that I thought that Barrett Hayton's season was the key to the Utah Mammoth. No, turns out it's kind of Nick Schmaltz, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but that's the kind of guy that we needed, and so at any rate, I hope Barrett Hayton's game improves. I can see the frustration with him, but I think we hang in there with Barrett Hayton. It's going to
I
get
agree.
better, I think.
Agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's end it on the last one by our friend Billiam Van Wilder, talking about Utah and its merch.
Hello, Slapshot Utah. It's Billy G. First off, congratulations on a banger of a watch party. You two really pulled it off. Here's my warm at best take. I think the Mammoth have the best overall logo in the NHL. However, we have mid at best merchandise. I'm sure Ryan Smith listens to you two average on a good day podcasters on a weekly basis. Ryan Smith, please try and beat the Ducks. They have fantastic merchandise. I mean, I'll give you this. Let's say I go out clubbing. By clubbing, I mean Costco. I see more Mammoth gear than I do Jazz gear. We're both in season. I go to my grandson's basketball game. I'm talking 4 to 5-year-old dribbling optional basketball. More Mammoth gear than Jazz gear. It's a hockey town. Let's up our merchandise. What do you say, fellas?
Yep.
Thanks.
Completely agree with Bill on that. Also, thank you, Bill, and everybody that came to the watch party fundraiser. That was awesome. But yeah, I'm all about that, Bill. I think we have mid at best merch, but great logo and colors.
Great logo, great colors. The design of the merch is real weak sauce. Like, we can come up with something a little better. The designs just feel really awkward. I think we'll get there, but listen, man, I got my own beef with the merch. And I already told you that I'm done listening to, we're a new franchise. We just rebranded. We were supposed to have this shit taken care of, okay? There's no extended sizes. Like, anything that is cool that you find is at best a 2XL, at best. And it's already sold out. Like, come on. Let's get some love in here for the 3XLers and the 4XLers at the least. Let's get a big and tall men's section going on down there. And I know there's a lot of switcheroo because we're going to have a Jazz store and we're going to have a Mammoth store. And we got to switch it around. I was in the team store just the other day. And you should see, like, not during the game, but like before the game, like during the afternoon, that everybody switching it over to converting the team store to Jazz, merch predominant. It's kind of like we're getting our dig straightened out and everything, but I don't want to make too many excuses, man, because we need better sizes. And I just agree. I think the designs are nerdsville. Like, let's just,
Yeah.
One thing I do like, and I wish there's a blue sweatshirt and some girls wearing it the other night on the Jumbotron. And it says Utah Hockey Club, but like in the AC/DC kind of lightning bolt lettering.
Oh, sick.
And those are dope. Like, all the hockey club merch in some ways is more classic than it's not classic, but I guess we'll give them some time until next season.
Yeah.
I tell you what's really going to blow up is that next season there's going to be the City Connect jersey or whatever it is, apparently.
And the Winter Classic.
And the Winter Classic jersey on top of our usual jerseys. So they're going to have everything pre-ordered and completely stocked. I hope it gets better too. We'll see. But I agree. We've got the makings of some of the baddest atch merch that you could get in the league. So hopefully.
Agreed. Well, thank you everybody that called in. That was Awesome. Please keep calling it. I got the number on the bottom. But me and Lee will be right back with our next guest on Slapshot, Utah. And just like that, we are back with Slapshot, Utah. And our guest today is the legendary Michael Johnson.
Mike.
Dude, so funny story when we start. Me and Mike actually met in a really cool way. We met last year. I don't know if you remember, Mike, last year during the Red Wings game. And
Oh
I
yeah,
so
that was
happened to
awesome.
buy I bought 2 of the game pucks because as you can see behind me, I was on a quest to collect them all. And I bought 2 of them for no reason at all, just like, oh, they're going fast. Maybe like we should buy 2 of them. And your wife, Joanna, bless her heart, love her, she put on Twitter, man, they're selling these pucks for like $150 down on the glass. And I really wanted one. And I messaged her. I said, bro, just come up here. I'll give you one for $25. And that's how me and Mike met. And we've been friends ever since, dude. And it's been a pleasure, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. I excited for this opportunity to talk to you both. And yeah, it took me a little bit of time, to go from the nosebleeds up there down to where you sit, John, and your awesome companion. But yeah, you guys were so nice. Sold it for, you were even going to sell it for less than face value. You're like, I don't care. You need a puck.
I
So
want real fans to have real shit, if you know what I mean, dude.
absolutely, absolutely. And and it shows. It shows. You guys are awesome. Always get glad to see you guys at the game. I missed your last game, unfortunately, but this upcoming one on Monday, we'll have to reconnect for sure.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
So, Mike, you and I talked at our fundraiser that we saw you at down at 1717 South Main, Big Willie's. And I was like, you kind of blew me away by your hockey acumen. Like, very articulate, very sharp, very strong off the cuff analysis. And so, where did you learn the game? Because you do not seem like a noob at all.
Well, I've been thanks, Leroy. I try to know my stuff. I've enjoyed hockey ever since I remember. I think I said this on the last podcast. The first time I know that I was exposed to it and have a memory of it was in '84 for the Olympics, the Miracle on Ice, and having that already been recorded and knowing the outcome. I think my parents sat me down on the couch and we watched the entire thing. And from that point on, I was hooked. My dad used to get tickets to the old Golden Eagles. We'd go down to the Salt Palace and check those guys out. And I remember getting in for, I think it was like general admission was like $5 or something. And we'd go sit right on the glass. It was just fun. So I looked at that. I had a couple of really, really good friends growing up. I didn't have the chance to play hockey as a youth, but I had some good friends growing up that played the sport for our high school and on a couple of Utah All-Star teams, and just enjoying their company and picking their brains throughout high school. And then I got into it really kind of at the next level when my son, when he was 7 years old, he wanted to play football. We'd go to the University of Utah all the time, watch the games, and he would do push-ups every time they got a touchdown, just like just like everybody else. And we tried to look for a place where he could play football, but they wouldn't let him play football until he had turned 8, and he had an October birthday. And so it was going to be like a whole 2 more years before he could even sign up. And he goes, screw it, I'll just play hockey. And that's how we got involved. And he's been on the ice ever since. And in fact, he's helping coach Viewmont right now, kind of giving them a little bit of pointers. And they're in the playoffs. So good luck to Viewmont on Monday. But I hope they do well. That's where he went to school. He won a state championship with them. They went to the nationals a couple times with that team, and should have won 2 state national championships. But as a freshman, they wouldn't let him play because he was playing on a travel team. Isn't that weird for
Well,
Utah? Like,
of course.
you're too good. You're too good for high school, so we're not going to let you play.
That is insane. Well,
Like,
as the great dad you are, you talked about how your son got into playing hockey. Did you play hockey growing up, like when you got exposed to it in 1984, or did you get into any beer leagues or anything like that?
So in '84, no, we played a little street hockey with friends growing up. Honestly, we didn't have enough money growing up to do
Yeah.
that. So we just didn't have that opportunity. But I wish I had. But yes, as an adult, I played in beer leagues. I call them old man leagues because I'm old. And
Completely get it.
yeah, and I still go stick and puck. I just enjoy the sport. It's kind of freeing and liberating.
Yeah. Did so I heard you coached for 14, was it 14 years?
14 years,
Big
yeah.
big coach Mike. So when you're coaching for 14 years in the development, like in that time, what are you most looking for in an athlete? Are you looking for size? Are you looking for like mentality or anything like that? Like what's the one thing that separates great hockey players from maybe mediocre or what, like just regular?
I love that question, John, because that was one of the hardest things where we'd have tryouts in the spring for these travel teams is figuring out who to cut. And I think it's just like the Utah Mammoth and the old hockey club. You're going to take Keller, Sergachev, Cooley, Gunther, right? Those are easy picks.
Easy. First ballot.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you and I love Obi to death, but when you get down to O'Brien and Yamamoto and those kind of guys, where do you draw that line? And I think it comes to you've got to have that natural skill. Yes, there's some things that you can teach, but some of those kids just didn't have that eagerness, that drive. And so for me, looking at kids, sometimes one would be a little bit less talented than the other, but because of that drive and that coachability, that would put them over the edge as far as making our teams. And we had some great teams. We had a lot of fun teams. We went to nationals a couple times with those teams, and it's just a lot of fun. Hockey's just a great sport.
Was the Utah Mammoth your first NHL experience, or had you been to an NHL game, or did you have kind of like a team or preference one way or another before the Mammoth came to town?
So growing up, I loved the Sharks. I absolutely love the Sharks, and just because they kind of came out in like 92-ish.
Yeah.
And
it's funny. We were just talking about that last night. We were talking about you can really tell which hockey teams came around in the 90s based on what the colors are. Teal, lavender, purple, I think we even brought it into
too.
Yeah.
Back to the jazz colors, right? If they're
that's what he said.
Close to jazz colors, they're going to be a good hockey team. But yeah, I like the Sharks. They did pretty good during that time as well. And just watching Thornton.
Yeah, those short Thornton years.
And Jumbo Joe, man, he was something else. But my son, I wanted him to be like the Sharks as well, but he liked the LA Kings because he loved Jonathan Quick.
So do I. Hey, we're speaking my language. This is my team. My old team was the Kings.
Yes.
So I have I understand the Sharks, but I also have a lot of bad Logan Couture. Come on, Joe Thornton, because we're in the rivals. Yeah.
So I enjoyed watching those guys. We had our local Utah guy on there as well, and it was fun watching him. But he gravitated towards Quick. He wanted to be number 32 in net. I don't think he ever was. I think he was 20. Well, he's 32 for 1 year, but mostly 29. He kind of carved his own path. But watching Quick play, I mean, in his prime, he's still good. He's still a great player.
But during that 2012 season, baby.
Yeah. Tyler Toffoli, all those guys.
Back when Tyler Toffoli was the new kid on the block, and now he's the crazy uncle in San Jose. That's what I thought. That was the funniest thing is that, we were talking just, another episode ago about that terrible loss where San Jose took us apart last year when we were, leading the game. And so much of it was Tyler Toffoli just, which was awful to watch, but also at the same time, I'm like, way to go, stud.
So we the first opportunity I had to go watch an NHL game was the LA Kings the year after they won the Stanley Cup. We went to the first game, the opening game, so we watched them all get the rings and the cup come down and
That's
be presented
awesome.
to the crowd, and it was something else. And I've been to a ton of Grizzly games, a million Grizzly games.
Oh yeah, great
But there's
years at the Grizzly games.
yeah, and they're fun. They're great when you're learning the sport and watching them. But man, having an NHL team and the talent that's out there is night and day, really, from an ECHL team to an NHL team. You know,
Oh
that
yeah,
2 steps is a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I mean there was some good fighting between the Allen Americans and the Utah Grizzlies those years. You know, I mean there was some great glove drops and you know, a few playoff. John has got what you're going to go see him towards the penultimate game, I think.
Yeah, April
Nice.
11th.
Mike,
Nice.
are you and Joanna going to get a chance to go out and see the Grizz this year before they take off?
Yeah, we're definitely going to go to a couple more games. Just because, I mean, I've got a Grizzly jersey, I've got Grizzly hats, I've got Grizzly jackets. Kind of same thing with Mammoth stuff. You know, I was all in on the Grizzlies, and
Yeah.
they're just a fun team. So I've got a question for you, and I have my own theory, but I want to hear your guys' take on this. Why do you think there's more fights, Leroy, in the ECHL than in the NHL? What's your take on that?
Well, look, I think the bulk of the players in the ECHL have no hope of making it to the NHL. I mean, there's so many fillers and so much roster, you know, depth that goes in there. So I think honestly, when it comes to the ECHL, you're looking at a level of hockey that responds very strongly to local energy. I mean, sometimes they're playing like, you know, what's the old Greg Ginn, the guitarist for Black Flag, the quote that if you can't rock your balls off in a club for 15 people, then you have no business doing it for 1,500. I think ECHL has a little bit of a punk rock attitude, but these guys are working class hockey players like working class musicians, and they do it because they love it and they love the sport, and I think they get off on the energy. And so I think sometimes there's a give the people what they want, almost 70s kind of slapshot energy that still remains in ECHL hockey and some other leagues. But the farther you get up that professional hierarchy, there's no more fucking around, you know? So that would be my impulse explanation. What's yours?
Mine would be that. Oh,
John,
my bad.
I
was just going to say,
John. I want to hear
I was just
it.
going to say, if you're on the Grizzlies or in that league, you know, at minimum, you're like, well, maybe these NHL teams don't think that I have the skill to score goals or defend or anything, but at least I'll be a goon. And they know I'm going to go out there and I'm going to change the tempo and I don't give a shit. I'll lose all my front teeth for this team and I respect it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm more on John's side on that, Leroy, where you know, again, we go back to that: who do you cut and who do you keep? And if you can show some toughness, John, you know, there's a lot being said with these enforcers always getting the new kid coming up trying to make a name for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think in the ECHL, that's how you got to do it. You got to differentiate yourself from the other, you know, 18, 20 guys. And the way I'm going to do it is by being a tough guy and fighting.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. So if we're talking about classic hockey, if we're talking about old school hockey, then I have a question for you that I ask almost every guest on our show. What are your feelings about hockey organs? Seems to be a controversial subject these days.
Ooh.
A hockey organ.
Yeah. Oh, those, you know what? I was just talking to Joe about this the other day because we were watching. I'm trying to think what game it was. Maybe the Montreal Canadiens. They have an organ in their arena, and I kind of want one. I know it's kind of old school and really dorky, but I kind of like that organ, man. It just nostalgia. It gives me goosebumps every time I hear it.
the organ is not just a musical experience in an NHL hockey game. It's an added personality. It's a narrative or a commentary. I mean, guys start beating each other up on ice, and it's not just Lady of Spain. It's like, what was it during the Christmas break, during that Rangers game? It was,
Oh, yeah.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. You know, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Yeah. So, but if it's on the organ, especially, like the spontaneity,
It's
you
even
know, they're
better.
like, you can do anything you want to. So, but I know some people, they absolutely hate it, and I don't get it. But it seems such like a classic hockey experience, like having marshmallows in your hot chocolate. It just seems like a natural, and so
Yes. Yeah, I
yeah.
like that
I think it would-
analogy.
I think
Peanut
it
butter
would be
and jam.
fun. Exactly. I think it would be fun if they had like it. It all comes down to, I think, the organist, because I think the St. Louis Blues, whoever he is, does a great job. I think if you could get like an organist that could play like we said, like you could do some Lady Gaga on the organ or something like more modern that the people can know while these guys are just like pounding their faces into their fists. I think an organ would be sick, dude. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You want to hear some Opalite while Tuna's going at it with somebody?
Yeah, for sure, dude. But while we're on the topic of historical hockey, because I can tell, Mike, that you appreciate hockey history and hockey in itself. Me and Leroy talked on the first segment on the Canes Hartford Whalers jerseys. How do you feel about jerseys like that, to where like a team that's a completely different team uses the other completely different team as a throwback jersey?
I have no problem with it. I love the Hartford jerseys. I had a Hartford hat because they were debunked and Utah didn't have a team, so I had a Hartford hat that I wore all the time. And I do like that blue and green. It looks really good with the well
It
tail
does
on
look
there.
good.
That's just so my thing is honor where you came from. You know, Joe's bedazzled Arizona Coyotes jersey that she wears to the games all the time. I know that we don't own that Arizona name, but if they did it, if Ryan Smith decided to change that and go to the Arizona and pick up that commodity as well, I think going to an Arizona and watching them guys put on that Kachina doll would be pretty cool.
See, now I'm approaching this entire topic in the same way as explain this to me in terms of being a baseball fan. And the way I would see it is like, it's kind of like the Washington, DC, the Nationals, going to Canada in the Expos jerseys, which they don't usually do, I don't think. But it's a sensitive subject. Not that I'm all about people being sensitive about it, but like, you start wearing that Kachina jersey, even if we did have the rights to it, and that they don't have a team, there's going to be some hurt feelings. Like, and so I just was kind of relating to that the same way like maybe a New England hockey fan was looking at the old dead skin suits being donned on, you know, of their old beloved Hartford Whalers, you know, or for that matter, you know, the Avalanche going incognito in the Quebec Nordique costumes when they go up to Montreal, Quebec. So yeah, but no, when it comes to fans in the arena, man, wear anything you want to. But every once in a while, I was just talking, it seems a little contrived to me. But
You
then
do?
again,
You think it's contrived, Leroy?
I think it's contrived when the Carolina Hurricanes are wearing the Hartford Whalers jerseys decades removed just because they have the rights to it. Although I know everybody wants to see it. And I got to tell you, I was excited to hear that they were going to wear the Whalers jerseys, but maybe it's just because we got beat and I'm bitter and I want to have something to say to hurt their feelings, possibly.
I think Fulte teased that he was just going to call them the Whalers the whole game, that he'd call them on the radio.
Yeah.
But I don't think he ended up doing it. But yeah, he kind of teased that was going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I think I see it a little bit different, buddy. I think going back is kind of honoring your roots versus it's kind of like me being proud that I'm Danish and Swedish. You know, it's kind of honoring my roots and where I came from. And so that's what I see it as. I don't see it as a slap in the face.
Yeah,
all.
no. Well, I'm being tongue in cheek about it, but I see where you're coming from on that too. All right, so let's talk nuts and bolts here, Mike. Chemistry. is a huge thing for this team. We don't want to wreck it. There is going to be a trade deadline. I imagine we're going to make some moves. Seems like players like Artemi Panarin are not the kind of players that we need. We need to keep that young chemistry intact. So I guess the first question is, moving forward, what do you think this team needs to do in the short term to improve, and what do you think the organization is willing to do right now to improve?
Those are two great questions.
Take it anywhere you want.
Anywhere I want.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming off of two really tough losses, especially that one in Carolina, man. Just that was just a meltdown at the end of that game. It really looked like Carolina got in our heads, or the Hartford Whalers got in our heads, and they just it almost looks like they just unraveled a little bit. Like they didn't have that confidence. Like they saw that goal come in on the 6-on-4 on the penalty, and after that they were just on their heels. So I think there's a couple of things that they need to do. But the key thing here is the trade deadline's coming up, as well as the Olympics. I think right now we've got a team in the Mammoth that is pretty beat up. I know guys have been coming down and up off the roster, as they call them healthy scratches, but I don't think they're healthy scratches. You know, Gunners was out, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Cooley's been out for a long time. So here's my deal. I think what you do is you shore up those defensive lines. Mata's been out for a long time. Hopefully he can come back after the Olympics and look good and shore up that third defensive line. I think right now you've got Sergachev doing a good job leading the first one. You've got Dursey and Schmidt. Schmidt is good. How he plays. So the second line's okay. I think if you get Ole Mata back on that third line, I think you're going to have a really solid defense. And the other trade that I would make is just get Cooley healthy. I think the big part of what's going on right now, especially on the power play, which is abysmal. What is it, like 15% efficiency?
Yeah, last in the league.
We're 32 out of 32 as of
Well,
right now.
Hey, nothing but up, baby. We got nothing but up. I think the biggest part, though, of that is we just go in. We kind of go in as a stacked line, almost like old Revolutionary War type setup, where they line up their 5 guys, we line up our 5 guys, and somebody else fire. Yeah, and we come together. The thing that I think that's really lacking in that is Cooley's speed and aggressiveness on that power play. We haven't had him for a long time, and so they can key in. They try to force it down the middle every time with a little kick out to the weak side or the off side of the bench, and a guy's right there every time. And they just throw it right back down the ice. So my trade is this: get Cooley healthy, get Mata on the ice, keep everybody else there. Right now you're on a projection to win hopefully 94 or make 94 points. And if they get to 94, they've got a pretty darn good shot at a playoff. You're in wild card position number 1. You're not going to catch Dallas. You're not going to catch the Avalanche. So why make a big trade? You're not going to move up in our division right now with 24, 23 games left to play.
We're not going to, probably won't catch the Wild, and even if we do, we're not going to get that. I'm right with you.
Yeah, and they're at 74 points. We're at 60.
Yeah, we'd have to we'd have to come out and play hot to even catch them. And that doesn't look, I am right with you on this. And here's the thing is, I know that there's a lot of Mammoth fans that are going to look at Ryan Smith, SCG. I thought you guys said you were in this to win it. Come on, let's spend some money. You know, we didn't spend any money. Well, I thought, we didn't get our hockey LeBron. What happened? Right. And I think what people need to understand is that every time we sign a contract, you got to sign it and commit money, and not only that, but space on the team that shuts out the development of calling up guys like Tija Ginla, Cole Bedouin, the Caleb Denoyers of the world, you know. And so exactly.
Yeah.
And
Gabe
so it's
Smith.
Yeah, it's better to contend for that wild card spot and and fizzle out in the first round and keep the plan intact. Anything we do playoff wise is bonus right now because the prize is 2-3 years development down. You go out and sign an aging player in a handcuff contract, it could really screw things up. So I am absolutely with you. I think we just get our guys healthy. If anything, and I think this was Julian's idea, John, 996 the Howl, when he was talking to us, goaltender, a backup goalie. Look, we love the Czech twins. Vanacek is holding up his end from time to time, but I think there's some concern that Veggie is not going to hold up this 90% save percentage if he continues to, work past his workload, even though he did at the end of last season. So do you think maybe... do we need goalkeeping, Mike?
No.
I mean, is that a target? No, you don't even go there, huh?
No, I don't think you go there at all. I think what you need is what made them successful over that 8-game run, if you remember, is collapsing defense. They were getting rebounds. They were kicking them out. They weren't just getting rebounds, but then they were creating offenses and breakouts off of those rebounds and scoring opportunities. What I've seen over the last 2 games is, well, I'll say the last game plus 1 period of the game on Saturday is a lack of collapse and a lack of help on defense. And this is kind of a subject that's tender because my son was a goalie, right? So I coached the defense and made sure that they were in the right position for those rebounds and watching that back door. I think we've got way too many backdoor opportunities from the other team, especially it seems like our center comes down and he goes towards the puck and the defense doesn't back up and watch that back door. He kind of goes with it as well. So now you've got 3 guys on that strong side with 2 opposing players on the weak side. All they have to do is get it to one of them, and it's a goal.
So, Coach Mike is a new fan of hockey, and I gotta say this to all our other listeners that are listening. So while I'm what you say you need the defense to collapse, exactly where am I? What players should I be looking at, or do you mean that we should have 2 defenders on each side of the goal, one in the like? What should I be looking for to rate a good defender or not?
It depends on where the offense is on the ice, as well as their offense, meaning where they're at on the ice, as well as who you have help and support. You've got to have 2 forwards up for breakout. Obviously, they can't collapse every time real deep, but they do need to come down a little bit and protect that net. But you've got to have the center. Well, in hockey, there's forward 1, forward 2, and forward 3. Whoever that forward 1 is, and that assignment to keep on the middle of the ice, make sure that there's some disruption there, or go out depending on if there's a potential shooter on the outside. That person has to do his job. They can't do it half-heartedly. The second thing is, and you got the defender. Either you've got one defender usually on the screen in front of the net. And depending on if that's strong side or weak side, you'd have the other defender guarding the other side of that or going out towards the puck as well. But I think we're playing too much chase a little bit on that, and it's getting us in trouble. And so I don't think Veggie's had the help, especially that first period of last game. I think they did start shoring it up. That one knockout by Johnny Marino, as that puck goes up and is just parallel with the bar and the line, and he knocks that through Veggie's legs and up the ice, and they start breaking out. That's the kind of defense you want to see the whole 60 minutes, not just one period here, one shift here or there. And that would sure up your goaltending.
Defensive type forwards, the kind of guys that can play a 2-way 200-foot game. Is Barrett Hayton going to be that guy? We were just talking in an earlier segment about how he went 5th overall, 2 picks above Quinn Hughes. Is Barrett Hayton going to be the player that we want him to be? Like, what do you think? What's your take on him?
I think he's still developing. Honestly, I don't think he's there yet as far as the speed of the game. You watch what Keller did in that game where he came back on the Flyers and he scored 2 at the very last. The game just slows down for those guys. One of my favorite guys to watch is is old Chewbacca Burnsy that played on the Sharks, going back to the Sharks days, right?
Yeah.
He plays the game like he's just sitting back in a lazy chair. Oh, here's my puppy. He's sitting back in a lazy chair, just watching it all come in, and he's about 3 or 4 moves ahead of what's happening in the game. And you saw that with Killer. I saw that spark and that light come with Killer. Hayton's a couple years behind Killer, I think. So for him to become a 200-foot player, that's going to take some time. I think Schmaltzy's a 200-foot player right
Oh,
now.
well,
I
yeah.
think Boehner's a 200-foot player. I mean, Bain had some really nice hits in this last game, and I think he's becoming a force on what he does. I think Hates has the potential. The game's got to slow down for him a little bit, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get goal, like you said, you don't believe goalkeeping is the problem when it comes to our
No.
defensive struggles. So we have Vanacek behind Veggie. So if in this upcoming draft, who would you want to see? Like, what position would you want to see the Utah Mammoth take to start developing to become a Mammoth player?
Oh, that's a great question because you got so many right now in the pipeline. Um, they've got some older guys on defense with both Schmitty and Olimata, but then they've got Simashev coming up that's like 6'6". I would like to see like a 6'4", 6'6" defenseman or forward. Just somebody big. They're starting to
Big
get that way a
bodies.
little bit. Yeah, with Boot. I mean, Boot's looking really good. He's got the arm span of a freaking giraffe, man. He can go,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what surprised me at this last draft of taking, even though he's projecting out to be a great player and he's working well up in the OHL, but Caleb Denwye, it just seems like the Bill Armstrong from everything that, I've digested, and it's the Armstrong wants to build a big team, like
Yes.
the Porter Martone type players, what I mean, big body presences. So that's what I would be expecting as well is, less skill players. We've got those guys. I think we got to build body in the mid ice,
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think they're doing it with Simashev and Boot. They've got a couple of really big bodies.
Mavlan
But
is no little guy either. When he gets up,
no,
he's
and Kraus isn't either. Kraus is a big fella, and I love Kraus's game. By the way, he's just an amazing player. I think he's the most underrated player on the team. To be honest with you, he does all the little things. He's there where he should be. He's taking hits, giving hits when he needs to be.
yeah. This is
But
the
yeah, I
Lawson
just think
Krause that
size.
all the Coyotes fans told us we were getting and wasn't around last year, but you can see it now.
And I don't know if it was having a new kid, and I hate to blame kids on things, but I will anyway. But being a new dad and maybe not getting as much sleep at night, that might have
Yeah.
affected this game a little bit. But we keep going back at what changes. If you look back at the Arizona Coyotes over the last bit with Bear, or the last 5 seasons or so, in 21-22 they had 25 wins. We're already there this year,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. With 20 left to go. In 22-23 they went to 28. And then they made the big jump the year before they came here to 36 wins. Last year they got 38. This year, I feel like they've got at least 42 wins in them for this season. Maybe, and if a couple pucks bounce the right way, maybe 44 wins. And so you see his trajectory is pretty darn good as it goes up. And I think as these kids grow up and maybe get a little bit of playoff experience, it's going to help them in next season. So I think you're going to see another little jump here in 26, 27.
Yeah,
I completely. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say so much is chemistry and getting everybody playing on the same page together.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say. Oh, my bad.
go ahead. No, go,
Oh,
John.
I was just gonna say, me and Leroy on Slapshot Utah, if anyone's been paying attention, we are on the bear wagon. I don't know much about stocks or money or math, but I know if it goes up and to the right, that's usually a pretty good sign. And that's what it does every year. And so I love bear, dude. We're bear advocates in Slapshot Utah.
Well, and
But
I am too. I think
yeah.
he's underrated with the Mammoth fan base, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people just don't understand what he's doing and where he's getting these guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and you mentioned too earlier when we were talking about the ECHL, you get attached to players. And as much as I love Kyler Yamamoto, I mean, and it's as great as he's been for us, like is Kyler Yamamoto like really have a future on the team long run? Like, is he the kind of piece that's on a juggernaut playoff kind of team? Maybe, but ultimately, we're going to have to say goodbye to some of our favorite players and maybe our favorite coach, and so just keeping things in perspective, it's hard not to get attached. But I think sooner or later, we're going to have to say goodbye to some of our favorites as the newbies move in and we pick up free agents,
I'm surprised you're saying Yammies after the 4 points in 2 games, brother. 4 goals in 2 games.
Well, listen, I'm ecstatic about Yams. All right. I mean, but he's an underdog. And so, sure, let's send him to the All-Star game next year. Listen, I hope he really, really makes it. But you know what I mean? He's a utility player that seems like he's playing over his head, unexpected.
100%.
Same thing with Karks. Like Carcone is, he was off the team, like, and now he's in
this year.
Yeah, they're like the most productive line like we've got going. It's kind of held things together, and so it's just sooner or later, it's just we're all going to have to grow in our fanship with the team. But gosh, it's so much fun right now to follow and just be with it. And so much of it is chemistry. That's you can't just piece together skilled players and make it work. Like it's a real team sport in that aspect. I think you're kind of saying that.
I think Schmitty coming in this year kind of grounds him a little bit and gives him that. And I think O'Brien, even though he's not playing all the time, I think he's kind of a jokester. I think he just kind of, he kind of keeps things light and fun in the locker room and is a good friend. And that's kind of what you need. You need that security, Leroy.
Yeah,
I
think what they signed him for those 3 years for a reason, not as much as what he does on the ice, so much as the person he's back there, group cohesion, and also he doesn't mind getting the scratch. You're going to have some guys who are real jealous or competitive. Look, he got his bag, he got his 3 years, he's got a home, he's got his family, he can stay put. You play your role, you know who you are, and you keep on keeping this up in the locker room, and the organization is going to take care of you. It'd be interesting to see if Tuna someday has a position in the Salt Lake media market. I guess we'll have to see, but
or coaching staff or a scout.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to keep him around for a long time. And speaking of him and his attitude, how would you like to go out on Saturday as their warm-ups and he's out there warming up and then he gets the healthy scratch? So you don't see that very often when they're actually out in warm-ups. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think this team is bumped and bruised and sick, and I don't think one of the players is 100% right now. If you had any of them, so this 2.5 weeks of the Olympics and then coming back, I really hope this is going to be something for our team.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I want to first say, dude, your insight is incredible. I think you could see right now that we could talk about this for like 5 hours right now, but we're rounding up about 40 minutes, so let's wrap this up. But we're gonna have you on soon, don't worry. But so we got 2 more games and then the Olympics. I want to hear, who do you think wins the gold medal in the Olympics? And then a follow-up question: what's your favorite concession stand at the Delta Center?
Ooh, those are great questions. Man, who wins or who do I want to win in the Olympics?
I mean, you're going to say America, obviously, dude.
So for whatever reason, I think Canada has our number, and I think Canada is the favorite going in. I think they win the gold. I hope we can get the silver, and play them in that final game instead of play for bronze. But I think they get silver this year, and Canada gets the gold. I'd love to see one of our other players, Veggies Czechia team get in there in one of those rounds too. That would be fun. But who I'm going to root for, honestly, is our guys. Leroy talked about it. You get attached to these guys, and I know they don't feel like they're part of our family, but I feel like they are part of my family. Because you just watch them and follow them, and they're just good people. They really are good people. We're lucky to have the players that we have right now in Utah. And then where's my go-to? At the Delta Center. I'm gonna say Proper Burger, man. I like a good Proper Burger. It's fresh, not too much. I'm trying to thin down a little bit, so if I just get the burger and not the fries, I can,
There you
kind of
go.
keep the calories a little bit in check. But yeah, that'd have to be my go-to is a Proper Burger at the Delta Center.
Love it, dude. Hey, Mike, you're a wonderful part of this community, and I think you and Joanna brought out with your nephew Carson that showed how amazing this Mammoth community is. Julian talked about it last week, all the way from Toronto, that this Mammoth community is we're one of the best, I think, dude. And so I really appreciate you being a good friend, even a better fan and supporter. This was awesome, dude.
Do you mind if I touch in just one little thing, John?
Yeah.
That I hope he doesn't mind saying, but Liam O'Brien was a big part of that Carson story. We lost our nephew to cancer in November after a courageous battle, and Liam O'Brien was a big part of Carson hanging on and fighting. And one thing, he signed a jersey for Joe, a really, really nice personal touch that the hockey community came up with the money to personalize the jersey. They got the O'Brien jersey, gave it to Liam, and Liam had the most touching note I've ever seen on a jersey. And I mean, brought tears to both of our eyes. But we were able to, he was a healthy scratch that game that we got the jersey. And so we, don't tell the Delta Center this, but we kind of snuck up the steps up to the players area, and Liam recognized both of us, and all we wanted to say was thank you. And bless his heart, he's such a good person. He comes down from where he's sitting, meets us at the bar, and just gave both of us a great big huge hug, and just said, "I am so sorry for your loss." And that to me is what hockey's all about. It's not just the game, it's the community, it's the relationships, it's these players that give their heart to the community and support the community. He didn't have to do that. He'd signed the jersey. He did it. He did his deal, right? But he's a good person. And I think there's a lot more good people on that team that do these acts of kindness than we really see.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing that, dude.
Yeah,
Bring
he's
us
just a
home,
good-
Leroy.
Yeah, Mike, it has been so good having you on the show. As far as the Olympics is concerned, are you really telling me that when Veggie takes the ice for Czech, that you ain't going to be watching your dude? Like, yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
exciting to me.
I'm cheering for every one of our guys, Leroy. That's what I'm
For
saying.
sure.
I'm saying,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm agreeing with you, brother. I'm right with you. Like, I'm going to be paying close attention to what all our peeps are doing. I'm right with you. Mike, it was so good having you on the show. We'll have to do this again. Loved talking with you. Love your takes on the Mammoth. Anything you want to say to us before you take off?
Just let's show up at the Delta Center and give them all of our support, because I really think they do feed off of us, yelling and screaming and doing the things. I guess just don't whistle. I kind of like the whistle there for a little bit, but yeah,
I kind of liked it too.
but
Yeah, we kind of liked it.
but
Okay, we won't do it.
I know, yeah, it's annoying to the players, but I just think, yeah, just show up for these guys. If they're doing community events, show up. If they're doing anything, show up. Let them know that they're appreciated, and that's going to help also with kids coming in, that they know that the community is around them and the community is backing them, because that's a big part of this deal, to get good players in here.
Love that, Mike. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back next week. Actually, next week, if you like what Mike said today, we're releasing the watch party episode next week. So enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, whatever you want to do. Enjoy the next 2 games of hockey. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.